still be able to cross the bridge with at least one sidewalk remaining open.
Hairstyling for breakfast television is provided by Hair FX. Experience Hair FX.
I have the lovely ladies from GoldenGirlFinance.ca. It's a new website that you've both launched, and this is Susan and Laura here with me this morning. Just tell us why you launched this website and what it is.
Well, we wanted to talk to women in a way that makes finance more relevant to them. We felt that there was nothing out there that was reaching women and engaging them in a voice that got them more involved in those financial issues that really affect their everyday lives.
Okay, so what is the website?
What is the website?
Yeah.
Well, it's a website focused on increasing the financial literacy of women. And coming from the wealth management side of the business, I was finding that there was still not a lot of women coming in to the office to talk about money. It was still their husband that was handling the finances.
Now, I just had this conversation with a friend of mine the other night, and I said, I am so terrible at keeping track of my finances. You know, I'm told about RSPs and savings and this and that and interest rates, and I really, I find it a bit overwhelming. But, you had some interesting stats, which is that 76% of women wished they had learned more about investing while they were growing up, and I can see that being very true. And women now are finding that they do have to take control a little bit more of their own situation, right?
But, you know what, there's a lot of great stats. 10 years ago, women and their mothers and their daughters were talking about marriage. That was the number one topic of discussion, and now it's finance. So there's great progress. Women are also going to control 60% of North American wealth in the next few years.
60%?
Like, we're thrilled.
And at this time, they're focusing, or they control 80% of the household consuming.
Right.
So what we're finding is that with women living longer, the divorce rate being 54%, that there's going to come a time in their life where they're going to need to do it on their own.
Okay, so why are we not taking control of our finances? Is it that there's too much out there?
I think I can speak to that because Susan comes from the investment industry. Now, I'm an educated professional woman who has always left the financial planning up to my husband.
Right.
And in meeting and becoming friends, we said, well, there's so many women like me out there, and it's foolish that we're not getting more involved, but why aren't we?
Right.
So we took all those elements that women are spending their time reading fashion magazines or gossip magazines, and we're applying it to finance, to make finance fun and fashionable. We like to say we're bringing sexy back to finance. Was
it ever in finance? Or
for the first time. So, but it's unbiased. We don't work with any particular bank or investment firm. All the information is unbiased information to get women more involved.
And what we really wanted to do is invite them into the financial discussion, because I think the wealth management industry is still dominated by men.
Right.
So much of the language that comes out of the industry is still really, I think, geared towards men. So we're inviting them in to learn more in a language that we speak as women, and really understanding the issues that we are facing.
Right.
And with children and the financial issues that you deal with through a divorce or losing your partner. So that information is there to start empowering women.
Well, it's better to be informed, better to be safe than sorry, right?
Yeah. I mean, the other component that, while the site can be a resource, those are also social components. So women can, when it comes to career, they can start sharing their salaries. They can start mentoring one another.
It is taboo. People don't like to talk about money.
That's the final taboo that we want to change. Like, women need to talk about their debt, their savings, their salaries.
And making that okay, and they can do it in an anonymous fashion if they want to on the site, and encouraging them to start talking about that with their friends, because one of the statistics we still see is that, if when women come back into the workforce, maybe after having a family, they're struggling with, how do I value myself? And when that inevitable question comes up in an interview, what are your salary expectations? How do I deal with that question? What am I worth? So what are other women making out there in your field? And we just don't talk about that, so we need to know that.
Okay, all great information, of course, as you mentioned, completely unbiased tips and advice on your website. It is GoldenGirlFinance.ca. We will put that up on our website, breakfasttelevision.ca. Be sure to check that out and get some great tips. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
We're taking a break here, and we'll see you after this.